Let's check back in with the Pixel 8a. There was a time when the leaks were absolutely flowing like crazy. We were getting actual photos of the device, renders, specifications, all of that stuff. But it kind of tapered off a little bit. But this morning, we're going to come back around to it because we have this report from winfuture.de. Let's translate this from German. The Pixel 8a will be more expensive, and they have more information here to share. So the first thing we have to get to here, according to initial information we have received from German retailers, the Google Pixel 8a is coming back to market in two memory configurations. There should be at least 4 different color variants. In terms of price, the entry-level bar will be raised quite a bit, as the price will probably be more than 550 euros. The 7a was 499 euros. So to that point, kind of translating things to dollars, back here on this post I made on Threads, I threw together this graph. Look at this graph. So what we have here is the Pixel 6, 6 Pro, 6a, 7 on through the rumored price of the 8a. And what you can see here is that Google appears to be slowly but surely increasing their prices over time. With the 6 Pro and the 6a, they were significantly cheaper than their competitors. But then, as you can see here, things kind of held steady for a bit, but the 7a went up, and then the 8 went up, and the 8 Pro went up, and now the 8a is likewise going up. Now, there's a lot of stuff to potentially talk about and think about when it comes to this stuff, right? So we obviously had this little thing called the global pandemic that occurred, and that, of course, did cause some prices to go up. You have two things happening. You have inflation and you have greedflation, which I think is a large piece of that pie. But we also have some other things that could potentially be going on. We've heard rumors that Google is going to be moving manufacturing to India. Now, I don't know what kind of effect that's going to have on the price of manufacturing. Could that cause things to go up? I'm not sure. Maybe someone watching this video is an expert in supply chains and they can tell me if that will have any impact at all. But I think more than anything, this slow raising of the price is something that is intentional by Google. It's something that they are doing in a strategic sense. And it's not just as simple as if we raise our prices, our margins are higher. It can actually be a strategy to sell more of something. So it's very, very strange, but we're going to look at a definition here for something called the Veblen effect. Now, I'm not going to pretend to be some sort of market analyst or expert, but I do know a little bit about this stuff. So the Veblen effect, this is the definition here: abnormal market behavior where consumers purchase the higher priced goods, whereas similar low price but not identical substitutes are available. It is caused either by the belief that higher price means higher quality or by the desire for conspicuous consumption, to be seen buying an expensive or prestigious item. Basically, some goods may see an increase in demand when the price goes up. It often happens with luxury items. If you take a Rolls Royce, which is super expensive and super premium, and you'd make it the same price as a Camry, there's going to be a whole segment of people that will no longer see that as a premium product, as a luxury vehicle, even though nothing's changed, just the price. It's a weird psychological thing. People see high price as a signal of exclusivity and status. Raising the price makes something an aspirational purchase. If you want to see this in action, you need look no further than Apple. They are the absolute masters of the Veblen effect. They sold a set of wheels for like $1,000. Again, you only have to look at Apple if you want to know why Google is raising their prices. That is my intuition. They are trying to get into this premium phone market, and you can't sell a premium phone for $500. I know that this is upsetting, and some people are going to say, rightfully so. I've actually already gotten comments on this. Let's actually just go back to Threads here. Samantha here said, hardware and software determines whether a phone is premium or not. And logically, that does make sense. But psychologically, and in terms of how people behave, that's not really how it works. Now, they do mention in this article something that's important to keep in mind. Last year, Google primarily marketed the cheap 128GB version as a volume engine by offering drastic discounts in some cases very soon after its introduction, and I expect that to happen again. they like to price it a little bit higher and then say, hey, this is what it costs. That's a great device. It's a great phone. It's premium. But we're also going to offer you this discount. So it kind of gives you the best of both worlds. It lets them communicate that Veblen effect of, hey, it's a premium product, but just for you, this exclusive deal, limited time only, here's a discount, and that pulls people in. Now, they do mention colors here: obsidian, porcelain, bay, and then mint. And we have seen photos of the bay variant. I personally really like the way that this thing looks. I love how rounded it is. I know that sometimes we, see these trends where phones get very square and then they get very round. I've always been a fan of the rounded kinds of phone. That's not to say I want the screens to be curved. I don't like that. Flat, but then rounded corners. It fits in your hand better. Maybe it's going back to the Palm Pre era, but that's what this thing is probably going to look like. And then in terms of the front of the device, I think it's fine. The bezels are definitely larger than some people are going to necessarily want to see, but I am not bothered by it. Bezels are something that to me are wildly overblown, and it goes away and I stop seeing them almost immediately. So if you want to know what the bay variant's going to look like, that's pretty much it. And then the porcelain, I guess that's maybe what they're trying to do. That looks more like a peach color, so I'm not really sure if that's supposed to be the beige version or not, maybe. Now, then you talk about the specs a little bit. Tensor G3 is obvious. 8 gigs of RAM is probably what we're going to get as well. Basically what we got last time back here on Threads. This is pretty much what I'm expecting, right? So 90 hertz screen, 5-watt wireless charging, 18-watt wired. Probably the same camera setup because it is a new camera setup. 64 megapixel main, 13 megapixel ultra wide, and then lots of AI features, right? So it's running the G3, same as the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro. So fingers crossed, it would be really, really impressive, and maybe it could somewhat justify this price increase if a lot of the Pixel 8 AI stuff is there. Things like Magic Editor, things like Video Boost maybe could be there, or the AI enhanced zoom feature could eventually come along as well. So they load this thing down with some really, really impressive features from the Pixel 8, and yet you are still getting these features for, a decent amount less than the Pixel 8. You might have a reasonable product. At the end of the day, we shouldn't have... At the end of the day, we shouldn't have too much longer to wait before we're going to have all the information we could ever want about this phone, because Google has their I/O event in May, and I would expect that to be where that device is announced. Now, we might have been expecting the Pixel Fold 2 to be announced in that same time frame, but more recent rumors indicate that it might actually be held off, skipping this area and moving to launch alongside the Pixel 9 with the Tensor G4. If you want to hear more about that rumor and see even some photographs of the Pixel Fold 2, there's a link in the description down below to a video covering that stuff. There will also be a link in the description to this article on WinFuture. They are a very reliable tech leaker, and you will see this article posted and sourced by every Android website around over the next couple of days, because old Roland seems to know what he's doing. So link to that article down below as well, guys. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. I'll see you on the next one. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.